brothers, first I'd like to start off with, look, I was listening to the things that Florida Alpha has accomplished. I want to be really clear about one thing. That was accomplished by an incredible team. That's what we're here to talk about, an incredible team of people, of volunteers and of brothers, of which I'm a very small part. What we learn here at Carlson Leadership Academy, and hopefully what we'll talk about here at lunch, helps us to be a better team member and eventually a better leader. And there's one key thing about leadership that I would like to be really clear about, and leadership is not in position. It's in action. Every person in this room, no matter what role you are in, whether or not it has a title or does not have a title, is an opportunity to serve as a very effective leader. And I'm looking at one person that espouses that more than anyone else, Steve Shoebrooks. So without any further ado, we get incredible opportunities in life, and many times we do not realize it. This is one of those opportunities for all of us, undergraduates and volunteers alike. For all of us, we share one thing in common, and SigEp is not a for-profit company. This is a volunteer organization where people give freely to an organization for really no monetary benefit in return. I think we'd all argue that we get something much more valuable than money, but people give freely to SigEp. What you have to do to be an effective leader as part of a nonprofit is much more challenging than being an effective leader of a for-profit company. At a company where someone earns a paycheck or gets paid for work they do, they might not care about whether or not they agree with your mission. They might not care about whether they think you're a good person. In fact, you might be a very bad leader and they might still do a decent job because they need to get a paycheck, right? Or make a certain amount of money to take care of their family. At SigEp or at any other volunteer organization, people don't have to be a part of your organization. They don't have to give their time and treasure to achieve excellence. They do it because they believe in the mission and they believe in the leadership team that's in place. And if you learn these skills here today at SigEp, imagine what you can do with them when you're in an environment where you have other resources at your disposal. Imagine the things you can accomplish. That's true for all of us. Now, if you're an undergraduate in this room, I would take this one step further. It goes from being an opportunity to being a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Are you going to go back to college once you graduate? Not in the context that you will today. And you're doing this, right? It's a microcosm of life. Between the ages of 18 and 22, you have an opportunity to be the equivalent of a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 40 to 50-year-old, a 60 to 70-year-old. How many opportunities do you get to be an executive at an organization? When you graduate, do you think you'll be president of the company you go to work for? Do you think you'll be vice president? Do you think you'll have a directorship role? More than likely, you'll be figuring out for the first time how to do something, right? Don't waste this opportunity. Decide today, in this room, if you haven't already, to give it 100%. My dad used to say, wherever you are, be there. He had these phrases that stuck with me over time. You're here right now with an incredible opportunity. Soak as much of it up. With that being said, Carlson's fantastic. I remember being here, this is 15-ish years ago, even though my hair probably makes me look like it was 25. By the way, I do get concerned that my membership will be revoked to the Signify hair salon. You know how I feel about it, right? And here I am, I don't even have any hair. But at Carlson, we're going to be learning a lot of tools. And tools are great. But a tool is only as good as the person that wields that tool, right? Give me a chisel. Give Michelangelo a chisel. Throw 2 blocks of granite in this middle of this room. Ask us each to carve something that resembles a human. Mine might not fall over. Michelangelo carves the David, which when you look at it, looks like a live person frozen in time, right? We both have chisels. He created something spectacular. The difference is he was much more talented at doing it. His character was that much stronger. The time that he put in to learning his craft yielded that result. So I'm here to talk about our character as individuals, how we as people take the tools that we learn at Carlson and for the rest of our lives and we apply it. There's three key principles for me. And by the way, I think you should disregard, if you don't like them, discard them, right? The most important part is you pick the principles that are important to you, that resonate, that can be a guide for you on how to live your life, right? Here's just my 3 suggestions. By the way, they're the product of other people's principles that I've shifted, right? So I can't even take credit for these. I've just summarized them. But they're honesty, relative excellence, which is simply just getting better every day, and treating others fairly. Those 3 principles. Very simple. Honesty, for me, is the foundation for everything else, right? If you're building a temple, this is the ground floor. You start with honesty. Honesty, 2 points about it that might resonate with you. One is that trust, right? An honest person is trusted. I don't think we all have to discuss why trust is important. We know it. We know trust is important. What might not be as obvious about honesty is that it forces you to get better. Why does it force you to get better? Right? Being honest when you can't lie and you can't cheat and you can't have a scapegoat, it causes pain sometimes. When you don't achieve the result that you intended to achieve, or you don't keep a promise that you intended to keep, right? It's painful. The next time that there's work or pain that has to go in so that you can keep that promise or achieve that level of performance that you wanted to achieve, you won't think twice about doing it because you didn't allow yourself to lie and cheat yourself for feeling that pain. It's that old phrase of no pain, no gain. When you fail, own up to it. By the way, it's incredibly respectful when someone, the amount of respect I have for someone that says they own a failure. Everybody fails. Nobody's perfect. I probably fail more than everyone in this room, right? But by owning it, you're one step closer to not doing that again, okay? The other part, which is related to leadership, but just as pervasive throughout your entire life, is it builds a healthier relationship with everybody, right? Could be people on your team, could be your significant other, right? On the plane up, I had an interesting conversation while you're sitting in tight quarters. A woman had asked me, she had said she was just getting into a relationship. It's kind of an odd conversation. You just met someone for 15 minutes and like, hey, what do you think about, how do you stay faithful to your wife? And I had 2 answers, and one's related and one's not. The first one is, my relationship with my wife is much more than something physical, right? She's my best friend, my partner. I can't imagine not being with her, right? The other part is that if I have a commitment to being honest, do you think when I come up, whenever I have an opportunity that I would be dishonest, if I knew I was going to tell my wife the next day that I had cheated on her, do you think that I would consider cheating? That's an incredible amount of pain, right? No. You don't even think about it, right? So cheating, being honest prevents you from cheating yourself from improving. Now, getting better is related to relative excellence, okay? Relative excellence is your path forward. And 2 thoughts about relative excellence. The first one is it's incremental, right? Every day getting a little bit better. Don't focus on a year or 2 years from now, but every day get a little bit better at the things that you love. The beautiful part about that is that you have something to celebrate every day or every week, right? Small steps lead into huge leaps over time, and it's self-reinforcing. It continues to motivate you. It's a little bit hard to focus on achieving something in 4 years, all that work, the lack of sleep, the amount of energy that you put into it, the failure that you put into it, right? It's hard to do that for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years to get to a goal. And I would even tell you that reaching that destination probably isn't even worth it if you didn't enjoy the journey. Making it incremental is self-reinforcing, and it helps you enjoy the journey. The second part is, it's not relative to other people, it's only relative to yourself. If you set a goal to be the best person in the world at something, I hate to say this, but most likely not going to happen, right? I am not going to be the fastest man in the world. Doesn't mean that I shouldn't push myself to be faster tomorrow. Every person in this room can run faster tomorrow than they ran today if they put the time and effort into it, even by a small increment. The best part about only comparing yourself to yourself is that there's no reason to be jealous of anybody. Think about how powerful that is on a team. You're happy for the people on your team in your life when they achieve success, because you're not comparing yourself to them, right? You're comparing yourself to yourself. Now, some people have said, hey, Bryson, I thought you were competitive, and here you are basically, saying, you're accepting mediocrity in your life. And I would tell you, you know what, so few people focus on getting better every day that if you did that, I'd be willing to bet that when you got into a room or an auditorium or maybe even a stadium, that you might be the fastest person or one of the fastest people in that room, right? And by the way, I just use fast as an analogy. It could be anything. It could be intellectual, right? It could be helping other people, anything in life, right? The third one is treating others fairly. So if honesty is the foundation for having a strong character, treating others fairly is the foundation of a strong team. The two things that I would tell you, the best people, they have a choice whether they want to be on a team or not be on a team. They don't have to put up with a team that they don't enjoy. They can do anything, right? If you don't treat people fairly, the best people are going to leave and you're going to be left with the people that aren't so good at things. They're willing to put up with an unideal situation because they don't have any other alternatives. That sounds like a bad way to run our team. Is that how we recruit for SigEp? The second part is the synergy, right? Treating other people fairly creates an environment where people trust each other, work together. It takes down the barriers of competition and opens up collaboration. People are willing to do things for the sake of the team because they know at the end of the day the team's winning and that the other people on the team are going to give credit where credit's due, right? That's a meritocracy. So treat other people fairly. Do unto others as you wish, as you would want to be treated. The last part comes back to where we started, right? We have an amazing opportunity here today. And so there's two things about seizing an opportunity, in my humble opinion. The first thing is you need to make up your mind when you leave this room, or this Carlson Leadership Academy, what is the one thing that you are going to make sure that you do? It could be a character trait improvement. It could be a tool that you want to employ. It could be mentoring somebody on one of your other teams so that they can realize their full potential. Even better yet, as Chris Menace told me years ago, I had asked him, hey, what can I do? I can't donate that much money. He said, you could mentor 3 people. That could be your way of giving back. But whatever you do, don't tell yourself you're going to try. There is no trying, right? Everybody in this room is talented enough that if you truly tried in the definition of the word, you would do it. Don't say I tried. I tried to get there, but, right? I tried to get there, but somebody on my team, didn't agree. I tried to get there, but I ran out of time, right? Or I tried to get there, but I had work, right? Well, great, there's 24 hours in a day, sleep less, right? Person on your team wasn't working well, work around that person, okay? I tried this, it didn't work, try something different. Do not try, do it. I want to thank you guys. SigEp has been an incredible part of my life, right? The undergraduates in the room have been an incredible part of my life, right? Because learning from undergraduates has taught me to be a better person. Teaching has given me an opportunity to reflect upon the things that I learned in this room, and then I've had the incredible opportunity of having numerous people in this room be mentors of mine. So thank you for making SigEp what it is, and get out there and do it. Whatever your dream is, get out there and do it. Don't accept failure as an answer. Thank you guys, and have a great Carlson.